Now, I just want to take 2 or 3 minutes and show you 3 of the popular sites. Now, these are 3 that personally I would never put through a tool, simply because if I do so, I can't have full control over them, because I think they're very important, because potentially you can get a massive amount of traffic from them. The first is dig.com, D-I-G-G, you can see it up here, .com. Now, dig.com is a news site. It doesn't respond well to everything going on here. Sure, you can put everything you want on here, but what I would recommend is that you put on something that's newsworthy for Dig. Dig is very much more news and, you know, serious focused, if you like. It's I don't know if this is quite the right word for it. It's a grown up social bookmarking site. It's for sort of highbrow people, if you like. The real benefit of Dig is you can get a massive amount of traffic. Now you can see here the stuff on the front page. Now every time someone digs your article, it will appear back up here, because these are made popular recently. Now the reason you want to be careful about what you can put here is this little button here, the berry button. What this means is that if I read something and I think, God, that's a load of rubbish, what on earth is that doing here? I click that button, it takes the dig away. Too many of these and it goes completely off the site. And that's why you don't want to put any old rubbish on here. This is where you put your best articles, your most controversial, your most newsworthy stuff that's going to grab people's attention. And then people are just going to click the dig, because people who come in and read the site, when they read something and like it, they'll just click the dig button, and that pops it up again and gives it a benefit. Now you can see here, obviously the more digs it has, the better, the more popular it is. So what you can do is you can use the Mechanical Turk, for example, to get people to dig your site. You just get them to come along here, dig your site, and off they go. Very, very simple. So yeah, this is very, very, very easy to do. But you can see from the categories up here, it is much more serious, much more newsworthy. So you need to make sure that whatever you're doing is going to sort of squeeze into one of these categories. And you can see here, if I click on all these, the different links. So they don't have the variety of links that, say, Easy Articles does. So as long as you can squeeze into one of these, then you're all right. You'll be fine. But you've got to think a little bit more with Dig, and make sure you get the right information on here. Now this is the second site I wanted to show you. It's called StumbleUpon. Basically what StumbleUpon is the idea behind it is you find a site of interest, you think, wow, that's fun, and you submit it to StumbleUpon because you stumbled upon it. And what happens is other people come here and they too can stumble upon it. So if I click self-improvement popular niche and click start stumbling, then it will come up and it will show us. This is a bit more of a social site than, say, Dig is. And the process is people stumble upon it, they read it and go, am I interested? I like it. Am I not interested? No. And they move on. And every time you click stumble, it will take you to another random site in that category. So you can see it, we can just go through this forever. So actually StumbleUpon is a very popular site with people who use it. It really is. It's quite a high traffic site, and the thing with StumbleUpon is it responds better to offbeat stuff, things that are on the edge, things that are controversial, things that are funny, and so on and so forth. It's not as serious as Dig. Dig is very much, as I say, a very newsy site, very much think CNN and BBC. It's very self-important maybe, whereas Dig is a bit more playful, a bit funnier, pokes fun at itself. So if you, depending on what sort of your article is, you could put it on either of these. But the reason I don't say automatically submit to these is you can get your social bookmarks removed from these sites. If enough people say I don't like it, then it will be taken off the site. Now the reason that could be a problem is, say for example Google comes along to Dig and finds your link on there today. It goes, oh right, there's your link. It comes back tomorrow and your link's gone. It goes, something must be wrong with that site. Why is it gone? So it can actually damage you to have your links taken off these sites. It can damage your search engine rankings. So I'd be very, very careful about that. But what I would also recommend is you do the other big site like Facebook and MySpace. MySpace I don't particularly use, so I would let it do it automatically. But my Facebook account, yeah, I would do that manually as well. Same with Twitter. What I would do is I wouldn't perhaps automate submitting everything to Twitter. What I might do is I might say, well, I don't want. I might have, say, a main account, my main account in a certain niche for Twitter, and I'd only want things related to that niche appearing on it. So I may set up a junk Twitter account with just a number of followers set on autopilot that basically everything goes to, and then what I would do is I would submit I'd tweet about topics relating to niches that I have accounts in, so that it's all relevant. So you do have to think a little bit about social bookmarking. A lot of people just run in there blindly and bookmark everything in sight without thinking about a strategy. But as I said, with Facebook, have 2 Facebook accounts. Have your one that you'll bookmark anything on. Have your ones in various niches that you're working on, and only submit to those niches things that are relevant to those niches. Same with all the other big sites. Once you've gone beyond like Twitter, Facebook, Delicious, Stumble Upon, Dig, who cares? A lot of the little ones, it doesn't really matter so much. But the big giant main sites, you want to take care of them, and you want to make sure that you do them properly, because that's going to save you an awful lot of time. It's going to make sure you have relevant links linked together. It's going to, I think it benefits you in the search engines basically, and it benefits you if you built up a Twitter list of followers who are interested in your niche, and your niche is say dog training. Suddenly you start posting stuff about how to lose weight. They're going to start dropping you as someone they follow, because they're not going to understand why it's there. So that's why it's very important. If you actually use any of these sites, you may have to separate out what bookmarks you post to which account, simply to keep it congruent, so that your people that are watching what you do on that site don't get too confused.